Hello, friends. Welcome to the Level Up Podcast. My name's Jen O'Donnell.
My name is Deanna Katsatis.
And today we're going to be talking about the thing that can ruin your brand in one click. Okay.
Yes.
One click.
Yes.
Deanna, do you want to start us out and talk
Yeah.
about?
Well, our brand is who we are. Our brand speaks for us. Our brand is what attracts people to us. It's what gets us noticed and recognized. So you spend a lot of time building that brand, and you have to protect it, right? But the importance of branding. A lot more goes into it than just colors and styles. There's a lot more into it. It's about you and your ideals and your personality, that makes you stand out. And all these things you work really super hard on to build and create brand recognition, and this which allows you to create relationships, right, and a sustainable business. And we've talked about all the tips and stuff about building a brand, but there is one thing that can ruin your brand in one click, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And honestly, the one thing that you need to make sure and that you're aware of is that you are not posting controversial posts,
Mm-hmm.
because the minute you click that button, you could immediately lose part of your audience, lose part of your customer base, lose people that you've been building relationships with just by one click, putting something out there that is controversial and opening things up to negative, right?
Right.
And no one really talks about this. No one really gives you an education on this when you come into an MLM business, a direct sales network marketing. Nobody has like this little sideline course on this and really emphasizes this when you're going into business for yourself and an entrepreneur, and you're putting yourself out there in the public eye and on social media and stuff, and you're branding yourself a certain way. But it really needs to be talked about, because although we use the platforms to work our business, we also do have a personal platform. And
Mm-hmm.
our personal platform speaks as loud as our business one sometimes. When people are following you on your business groups or platforms, I guarantee you, most of them are looking at your personal profile. I always love to get to know who I'm doing business with it if I have the opportunity. And so I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you that a lot of them people are taking the opportunity to look at your personal profile and to get to know you as the person, because that's important to me. And so I just say beware of that, and to be neutral. You have to stay neutral in the things that are going on in the world, politics, religion, anything like that that can create sides, division. This world is divided enough. You want to make sure you stay away from that on all branding platforms, business and personal, because people are watching, right? And you can really alienate people that way. And I thought it was really super important that we talk about that today, because a lot of times we don't. And so if you're one of them people that love to debate people, that's good, honest debating, that's great. But go in and clean up your personal profile and get rid of it. Like, don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
don't allow it, don't allow the negative things to come in there, because your business could tank overnight by doing that, honestly. What are your thoughts, Jen?
Yeah. I guess you have to know, you have to use common sense and you have to know what is okay to post, and maybe you're posting certain things and you're comfortable, that's authentic to you, you're comfortable with that, it's not crazy over the top. And then other times people post the craziest stuff out there and it opens up a huge conversation. And sometimes it's just like you said, Deanna, you scan over somebody's profile to see, okay, do I want to work with them? Do I want to
Yeah.
do business with them? And sometimes I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know. Like you do, you don't want to hide things. Like if there's things about you that are going on, but sometimes people, they just air too much, right? You just
Yeah.
throw out a lot of dirty laundry. Um, and that's just not appropriate. Would you, if you worked in corporate, would you throw out all your personal stuff, all the things that are going on, your mental health, like all the things, like you have got crazy things going on in your life. You, you know, like you're talking about all the recent things going on. Would you throw that out? You wouldn't. They would fire you.
Right.
So you want to kind of think along the lines of that. What would you post if you're in corporate and they were watching your profile? Because sometimes I don't want to do business with people because of what they're posting. It's just, I'm like, oh, I could never take you on as a client.
Well, this has happened to me. Like I actually had a conversation with you about it. And I remember it was a coach, right? It's a business coach, because in business we're always growing, and even though we're coaches, we still grow ourselves, right? So I'm always looking to educate myself more. And both of us were looking into this one coach. It was like a free challenge she did or something, right? And I started watching it, and literally I'm watching her, and I didn't like what she was saying. Like, and it wasn't even just her personality, but it was words she was using. It was phrases she was using. And these were things that I never would put in front of the public eye. And it turned me off. Like, it literally turned me off. And the thing is that she probably had really valuable stuff to say. But the words that she was using, the profanity that she was using, and that it was not appropriate for the business. And I am not, girl, I am not saying I am not the one that can throw out a profanity. Of course I can. And I might every once in a while, but I don't put it out in public because it offends some people. All right. I'm not going I, you know, there's just a certain standard that you have to portray while being authentic. But not to offend people, right? And she really offended me by, I remember having that conversation with you, Jen. And I was like, I lasted till this point when she said this. And I was like, oh my God. I just didn't even, I stopped and I didn't even listen anymore. And I was like, wow, like, how could she do that? You know, like she totally lost me. And it could have been the best training that I could have ever had. But because of that, you know, she lost me. So we really do have to be aware of that. And it's not being yourself. It's just being respectful of an audience that is filled with diverse people from many different cultures, many different avenues of wealth, poor, economic status. Like you have everybody there on social media, on your social platforms, and you can't alienate them.
Right.
And you have to be careful of that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, would you share this person with somebody? Like, would you feel comfortable sharing this person with somebody? It's almost like what we talked about in the last episode with removing the stigmas. Like, if you're feeling confident, this person's adding so much value, so many benefits to you, like just building you up, you want to share them naturally. Like, that's easy to do. But if at the same time, like they're posting all this stuff, they're just airing all this laundry, like they're just over their top, they're too much, then you don't want to share them, right? They do have a niche. Like there's going to be people that are going to be really attracted to them, but the majority of people will not. And I think you know, when you're on social media, you're mixing personal and you're mixing business, but you have to remember, really, it is all business if you are in the business world, because that's the number one thing people are looking for when they're looking for you.
Yeah. And as far as personal too, remember, don't give away all your personal stuff. Right. It's still the internet. It's still, it's a scary place. It can still be a very scary place. So you want to make sure that you're not divulging all of your personal information on there. It's good to share, but to a limit, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you just want to make sure, because your branding really is you. Your branding sets you apart from other people. It makes a huge difference. I mean, your brand even impacts your team and your culture. And so this comes into play when you are building a team, like to teach your team about this as well, because I watch a lot of leaders and their team is just spewing so much on social media that's completely inappropriate, but honestly, they have no idea.
Yeah. And it's out there forever, right?
It's out there forever.
It's out there forever. Do you want a picture of you falling over at the Christmas party, dead drunk and everything going viral? No. I mean, it doesn't portray you in a good light, right? So I would just be careful of what you're posting. And the pictures you're posting or the videos you're posting, and is this appropriate for all people? Is this appropriate for the image that you're creating and the brand that you're building for your business? Does this align with that? I mean, I'm a little bit kooky, I'm a little bit crazy, right? Appropriately though, because it is my personality, and I'm a little out there, right? And I can still bring that across and still be authentic to myself without putting crazy, crazy posts and crazy pictures and stuff like that, out there. And I can do it, in a way that attracts all people and is appropriate for all people.
Right.
I mean, we're not saying not be yourselves.
Right. Yeah. It's just, you have to use common sense. Would I put this out there for an employer if they were looking at me for a job? If the answer is no, then I wouldn't post it, right? I wouldn't post it. Yeah, because it'll hurt you.
And, there's ways. And in the Social Media Success Academy, one of the things that I teach is how to target certain people on Facebook so that they're the only ones that see your post. So if you're a person that's like, well, I like to talk about this with some of my friends, or I like to talk like this to some of my friends, or have this, then okay, there's a way to do that everybody else doesn't see it. All right. There are ways that you can communicate on Facebook that only targets certain people and certain audiences, and your post won't be seen by other people. If that's something you need to know, make sure you message me, and we'll go over that if you need that. I know one of my clients, works for judges and works in a courthouse. And that was one of the things about her business she was concerned about, was posting and having everybody seen. And I'm like, oh, I got you, girl. Got you. Like, this is what we're going to do so that you can keep your business separate from your, work life. So there are ways to do it. And if you don't know, educate yourself, comment, message, and we can give you some tips on that.
Yeah. I love your idea of how to target. That I think has been very helpful for me, because if you want to keep certain things private, or you just want to be talking to a certain group of people in a certain way, I like that. That feels authentic to me. So I know, like, the people that I want to hear my message, I want them to hear my story. I want them to be able to get to know me. They're being able to get to know me. And then the other people that I'm like, I don't really care. You know me in a certain way. You don't need to know all the stuff about my business because it doesn't help you or benefit you in any way. Then you don't have to hear all the stuff that I'm going to talk about, so that I can, share a little bit about what I do and what I offer and the benefits and what I've learned over the years and stuff. And I love it. Makes a huge difference on social media.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was a quick, talk today, but I think it was something that was so important to get out there in the open and just really have you think about it, because it is not talked about a lot. So I'm really glad that we had the opportunity today to bring this to the forefront and just keep it in the front of your mind. And if you were one of them people that in the past have like posted like some things that you think might, not be appropriate, now that you're thinking about it, just go back and delete it.
Yeah.
Power of the delete button, clean up your profile a little bit if you must, it's okay to do that. And, just forward thinking now, think before you post, and think about what you're posting.
Yep. Super easy, but so important. And so many people don't realize Like they just don't realize. So if that is you and you don't realize, now you know, and you can go change that. But if you know somebody that they are a habitual poster and they share too much and it's a little bit inappropriate, and if they were in corporate, you know, that and corporate was looking at them, that would be not something appropriate, then share this podcast episode with them so that they can make the switch, because it really does affect your performance, your productivity, and whether clients will come to you or whether they'll say no.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
Definitely. Always check out the links below, subscribe, share, everything that you can to get this out there to the people that need to hear it, right? Like, we welcome that. We love it when you share, and we love it when you message us. So I'm good for today. What about you, Jen? Anything else?
Yeah, this was good. All right, friends. Well, thanks for joining us, and join us next time.
Okay. See you guys soon.